Mabuhay, Ada.
I mean, that metaphor that I just shared with you, it's very personal to me because I have on the field, I'm known for having very strong legs and always, driving my legs and moving forward until I can't move forward anymore. And then what's great is that I have teammates who come in behind me to support me and to then take the ball and to continue moving the ball forward. And I think for me, in my off-field experience and my rugby administration experience, it's the same concept. I find something that I see that needs improvement or something that I see that is fundamentally wrong, and I do my best to try and affect that change or to improve that thing. And when I can't move anymore, then I wait for my teammates to back me up and to help me move that passion forward. Yes, everyone talks about the journey being the important part, and I think for me, if I'm very, very honest, when I was younger, I spent a lot of time thinking about the final destination. Where is my end goal? Where do I want to be? And I think that it is important to create goals, but for me personally, it was setting an expectation or setting a standard that was maybe impossible. Like I was setting standards for myself that were unrealistic. And so there was a time where I just decided to, as we talked earlier, wander and wonder. And so I didn't make so many plans. And while I was not making plans, life happened to me. And while I wasn't sure what my end goal was, I was sure about the next step. And I think that's kind of the lesson that I keep taking away for myself is I don't have to know the end destination. I just know the next step. And that's when I moved to the Philippines to represent the Philippines for rugby, all I knew at that time is that I wanted to play rugby, I wanted to represent, and then the next step then presented itself to be the captain. And then after that, the next step presented itself to become a board member. And then after that, the next step presented itself to be the secretary general. And then all these other opportunities just presented itself at the right time when I was ready and when I was prepared to take that next step. And I just had to be bold enough and brave enough to say, yes, I'm going to step up to the challenge, even if I'm scared or even if I don't think I'm fully prepared yet, to just accept the challenge and take the ball and go anyway. Freedom, I think that's such an interesting word because there are, especially with an American context and background, you think of the word freedom and it's being able to have access to lots of opportunity. But in the Philippines, we also are a land of freedom, but I think that there are still many cultural challenges and barriers that prevent people from accessing that freedom. And I suppose everywhere in the world there are places that claim freedom, but there are challenges or barriers that prevent them from being able to access those opportunities. And so I suppose that for me, freedom is more of a concept that is an internal idea of freedom. So freedom means that even when there's a challenge or an obstacle, I have the choice to accept what it is, or to try and find a way to change it, or to try and find a way to remove myself from that situation. And I suppose that's what freedom is. There are many times I think all of us have felt trapped in our lives, and freedom is that moment when you realize my life doesn't have to look like this, and I can choose something different. And that's freedom. It's the freedom of choice. My object is water. I think as I was reflecting, I was thinking about this glass of water because it seems so simple. It's very still. It's not very powerful, right? You can break the water. It's very simple. But I was walking along a path and I was watching the water rush down the river. And I was thinking to myself, look at the power of water. Water can create valleys, it can create canyons, it can create a way when we think that there is no way forward. And I think that concept of always go forward, right? Even when you think you're not moving forward, you know, the water, sometimes it looks like it's just sitting very still, but actually it's just waiting for its moment to find a way. It's waiting for its moment to get around or through the obstacle. And so that's why I think water is such an important reminder to me that it may not look like you're going forward all the time, but you will go forward if you're patient and you wait for the moment. For me, it's a very, very simple quote, and it's how you do anything is how you do everything. So how you do one thing in your life, something so simple as making your bed in the morning, right? Putting that priority in your life. That's how you do everything. How you treat somebody who is just opening the door for you at the supermarket, at the grocery store. That's how you also treat important people or less important people. It's about making sure that everything that we do in life, we do it with purpose. And how you do one thing actually represents how you do everything in your life. And that's how I try to relate to my life all the time. It's how I do anything, it's how I do everything.
One rugby.
Isang puso.